Hello everyone. I really hope you all must be doing very good and you are in best of your health. So in our last video, we talked about that why and how we thought of moving to Canada and how was the journey in total, how long the PR story itself is. So you heard how long the PR wait is and how patient you have to be to go through all that process and what emotional turmoil you have to go through to decide whether really you want to move or not. And finally, then you decide to move. So in this video, we will talk about that why we decided to move to Canada. So let's look at few of the reasons which helped us to decide that out of few options which we were thinking of why we want to go to Canada. So when we started thinking about that we have to move abroad, so there were few countries which came to our mind. First few were like Australia, US, of course, Malaysia, Singapore, you think of Dubai. And I'm not going into other countries because we never thought of those. So we will be discussing only the countries which we thought can be an option, and we will discuss about what pros and cons we thought those countries have, and because of which we decided our destination country. So basically, a country will be good for you or not will mostly depend on two things. First, your career or your stream with which you are coming from, for example, computer science backgrounds or semiconductors or electrical. So in which stream you are will basically dominate your reasoning of being in any of those countries. Second could be that anyways you want to move to that certain country which you have decided for because of any xyz reason, and then you are ready to adjust your career, you're ready to adjust your stream for the country. So there can be any of those two reasoning with which you can move forward. So for us it was like the first reasoning, we want to look for the countries which suits us according to our career options. So for me, I belong to semiconductor industry, so I was looking for the countries which have job opportunities for my stream. So basically for us, job opportunities was one of the main criterias with which we want to start to sort out that which country we want to go for. So initially we started with Australia because, as I mentioned in my book, that usually the country with which you start is the one where you have your knowns. So I have one of my good friends in Australia. So I got a chance to chat with her. How's Australia like? What are the job opportunities there? And what I could make out from that is like there are job opportunities in various government sectors, banks and all, but there were not much job opportunities for me being from semiconductor or electronics background. So, that was the thing which repelled me for being in Australia. Though I was very much aware that, the work life balance I have been looking for, the quality of life I have been looking for was very good in Australia. But what I believe that at the end, you have to be happy when whatever you are doing. And if someone is ready to move into some different domain for work purpose, then it's absolutely all right to go forward and move to Australia. But I was not ready to compromise much on my domain in which I want to work for, and hence I decided maybe Australia might not be a good choice for us. Then we thought of Singapore, Malaysia. You always think of the near countries or cities where you can move, right? Because it will be easy to commute to India. So somehow I never liked Singapore, Malaysia, the environment. We have been there on vacation, and I really didn't like the city or the country. So there were job opportunities there for me for being computer science or semiconductor people. So there were a lot of opportunities. There are rather, I would say, a lot of opportunities there, but as a country I was not liking it much, so hence it turned down in my list. Coming to most sought destination, United States. So somehow, I haven't had this feeling of, I haven't liked the country much, because of the perception we have. Like, it is similar to like India, where we don't have work life balance and it's more commercialized. There's a lot of racism which I have heard of. I know racism can be anywhere, and it can happen to anyone, but people goes by perception, right? So that is what the perception I had. Like, I haven't had a good perception about US, that you would be able to get good work life balance, or things like that. So by opportunity wise, of course US is very good, in context of, from whatever stream you are coming from. But as a country, I was not loving it. Finally, coming to Canada. Yes, let me tell you, Canada was the last country we thought of moving. So Canada was not on my list from the day one when we started talking about it, because I always thought then that it's a severe weather over here, and I'm a kind of person who does not love winters anyways. So I thought it will be hard for me to survive there having such a extreme weather. So that was the first thing because of which we were never thinking about being in Canada. So fortunately, I got a chance to talk to one of my ex-colleague who was there in Canada that time when we were planning. So we come across a lot of things. We had many discussions. So I want to say thanks to him that he helped to let us know the realities of being in Canada, because people go by perception. As I was telling you, that for US I had this perception that you don't have work life balance, and the racism is much more there in comparison to other countries. So he helped me to sort out those perceptions which I had for Canada, like severe weather, you can't survive, things like that. So I come to know when I talk to him that it's the Canada all over is cold for sure, but there are areas where you can live comfortably, and there is a reasonable amount of summers which you can enjoy. So I've come to know that it's not like snowing 24/7 or 365 days of the year. So it's not like that. So that is one thing which I came to know while talking to him. And then I came to know that with the right gears you can survive even in those winters, and you feel very comfortable, and slowly you start enjoying being there. So that is very obvious that wherever you live, you get adjusted to that country, to that weather, and slowly you start liking the place itself. But the point is, are you open enough to for that change? So as soon as weather was being sorted, okay, there are places which are kind of snow free for certain period of time, and it's not always like always -20 -30 degree kind of thing. So when I got more visibility into the weather, like how it goes, then I started thinking about the job opportunities and other aspects of life, like the work-life balance, which was my main motive to move, as I talked in my last video. That was the reason because of which I was looking to move. So Canada had this a perception, you can say, or the kind of reputation that in Canada people have their personal life, they have a very good work life balance. So it's Canada started meeting my requirements of having a work-life balance, a better quality of life. So that is how, I started thinking more about Canada, that can this be a country where we can move. Then I did my research about job opportunities, what kind of job opportunities it has for me. Like, I'm from semiconductor background, so like the similar thing applies to computer science as well. Like, what kind of job opportunities you have. So from India, I've come to know that there are various offices which are there of my domain, and which is big companies which are having offices in US. They operate in Canada as well, and there are a lot of remote positions which are open. So that gives me a level of confidence that I can be in my same domain of work, and at the same time I can have my work life balance and the kind of quality life I'm seeking for. So the main advantage which Canada has is that it is near US. So you have a flexibility to move to US if in case you are not liking Canada enough, and you are getting more career oriented where you want to grow more. So you always has an option of move to states. So that is also one of the advantage which we thought of, that if in case suppose it does not work out well, we are not liking Canada much, then you always has an option to move to states once you have a citizenship. So if I talk about job market, then of course it's not buzzing as it's a buzzing job market in India, but we do have opportunities in Canada which we can grab for. So that become a positive point for me, where I should consider Canada to move. So after talking a lot with my friend, I have come to know various aspects of life, and that is how we understood that the motive, the aim with which we want to move to a country is getting satisfied in Canada. And we have this flexibility that if in case we don't like, we always have a door open where we can move to either two states or can come back to India or whatever. So what I would suggest here is, whatever country you are choosing to go for, you are liking or considering yourself to move for, you should always talk to the people, because it can be never better than talking to people and asking your questions and queries, because your queries can vary depending on what kind of individual you are, what kind of background you're coming from. So Canada, which was never on our target list of moving, hence become the forefront runner, like for us. Like, I believe that is the country at that time we thought that it is satisfying all the criterias what we want, and hence we decided to go for Canada PR. So people talks about like Canada PR is easier than Australian PR or some other PR. So what I would say is, no PR is easy. It's as much troublesome, as long, as lengthy process as it can be in comparison to other country. Everywhere you need to have a lot of patience, a lot of paperwork you have to go through. So it's nothing like Canada PR is easy than Australia PR. That's why people prefer Canada PR. It's nothing like that. At least for me, it was never like that. It was more about our priorities of life and which country is coming through that. So I would like to share one funny notion over here. Like, as I said that people go by their perception. So I had this perception that in Canada there are a lot of Punjabis. There are so many Punjabis which go from India to Canada, and it's full of Punjabi people. But coming over here, I have realized it's nothing like that. The thing is that we only hear those stories of coming those people over here, so that's why we know that only Punjabis are moving here. But let me tell you a very surprising fact. As soon as we landed in Saskatchewan, there were more Gujaratis and South Indians we come across and met, rather than any Punjabi. Rather, I would say that hardly we met, one or two Punjabi people over there. Mostly those were Gujaratis. So I was so much surprised, and I was, laughing at my own notion that, in India, when I was in India, I was just thinking, oh, Canada is full of Punjabi people. As soon as you land, you find, one person or the other Punjabi. So that was very funny. I was laughing at myself only. So if you're planning to move abroad, so you should decide on your priorities. Like, what is your priority? Is your priority is something like work life balance, your personal life, your quality of life, or is it your movement is based on, like some people have that they want to move to United States, right? They have this agenda in their life that they want to move abroad, and especially into United States. So they have a preference of the country rather than the priority of their life. So it depends on individual, like what is their thinking about moving abroad. Is it the country which is appealing him, or is it the need which he wants to suffice by moving abroad? So it totally depends on individual, the choice where he wants to be, whether he wants to move to Canada, US, Australia, Singapore. Doesn't matter, the country doesn't matter. It the thing which means a lot is where you want to be. So this is our reasoning and understanding and brainstorming with which we decided that we want to move to Canada. You can have your own similar kind of brainstorming, and then you can come up that which country will suffice your requirements or your agenda of life. Thanks a lot for watching. See you soon in next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.